All right, let's take a look at finding the probability of two events. So basically, probability, you get a pair of blue socks. Well, if there's 4 white, 10 black, 8 pink, and 14 blue, you should have somewhere made a table like this so you know you're keeping track of exactly what you have. This way you can get a total, because we're going to be doing part over total as you go through this. So if you do that, you end up getting 36 total socks. So then you're just calculating probabilities. Probability to get a pair of blue socks, that would be the probability of blue comma blue, and that would simply be 14 out of 36 times 13 out of 35. When you type that in your calculator, you're probably going to have to use the math frac button to turn that long decimal into a fraction, and you should be able to get an answer to that pretty easily. In this case, it fully reduces, for my example, to 13/90. You should get that to show up on your calculator. Second question, what is the probability you would not get a pair of blue socks? Well, I just answered what happens when I do get a pair of blue socks. So one thing you could do is you could just simply say, well, I want not get that. So then it would be 1 minus the probability of getting a pair of blue socks. So the easiest way to calculate this would be 1 minus, and then just do 14 out of 36, that's the probability of getting a blue, times 13 out of 35, that's getting the second blue, and you just type that in and you should be good to go. Some people have tried to do other ways to do that, but I feel like this is the easiest way. I'll explain the other option later at the end of this video because I want to keep things moving. The correct answer to my example here would be 77/90. The next one then would be, what is the probability you get either a white or a blue? So now we're talking or. If you're doing or, that means add. So I'm going to have to add some things together. So in order to do this, there is 4 out of 36 ways to get a white, and then there is 3 more of those left. So then I would have 35, 3 out of 35. And then add that together with the ways to get the blue, which would be 14 out of 36 times 13 out of 35. And there's an add right there because or means add. So I'm going to calculate each of those, add those together, and then in my example, if I reduce this correctly, it would be 97 out of 630. You can check that in your calculator using your math frac button. And then finally, what is the probability you get 1 black sock and 1 white sock? So there's 2 ways to do that, because you could go black and then white, or you could go white and then black. That's how you get that set. So then that would be, for black, 10 out of 36 times 4 out of 35 to get that white, or you would have 4 out of 36 white times 10 out of 35 black. Then if you type all that in your calculator correctly, use math frac, and you'd get 4 out of 63 for this example. All right, then finally what I'd like to do is just close with the second way to do part B. The second way to do part B, some people struggle with this a little bit, is that not getting a pair of blue socks. Well, some people say, well, couldn't I just take the probability of not blue times not blue, because I'm trying to do 2 not blue events? Well, yes, that would be 22 out of 36 times 21 out of 35. But all that takes care of is the 2 not blues. If you're not getting a pair of blue socks, that means you could have one of them being blue. So then you're going to have to add to it the probability of drawing blue followed by not blue, and then add to it drawing a not blue followed by a blue. So then I would have to then multiply each of those to get that figured out. So then I would have the blue being 14 out of 36, and then not blue would be the remaining 22 socks out of 35. And then the next one would be not blue is 22 out of 36, and then times that by, I still have 14 blues that I could get out of the remaining 35. And if you add all that together, that's going to give you the same thing, 77/90. So just wanted to show you everything to this question and how to make sure you calculate the proper probabilities of 2 events.